All right, I went out on a limb and I said Carlos will be the starter at first base. Francisco Lindor and Brad Hand will be named to the team. Agree or disagree?
I agree with you. We heard that the voting announcements will begin at 7. So even if we were to hang on for a couple extra minutes, you know that the Carlos announcement wouldn't come till, 7:30 or whatever.
Right.
But who knows? It looks like Carlos is going to fend off Voit and who was the other?
Cron,
the
C.J.
other one?
Cron.
Yeah. And that's good. There's your numbers.
All right, now
of the
this
three.
is as of before today's action because Cron is playing in a game today. They're finishing off. They got a getaway,
series,
getaway game against Tampa Bay in Minnesota. That game is tied at 2 in extra innings. But you see how close those are. So shockingly close. Carlos got on base more. His on base percentage would be higher because of all the walks that he gets. But you can't make a big argument 1, 2, or 3 here.
Good point. And Carlos, is obviously the hometown hero, if you will, but he's earned it, and he's also been a pretty good two-way player. I mean, he's never going to be a Gold Glover, but I think he's played pretty darn well defensively, all things considered.
He was a disaster when he first started, but he turned out worked hard.
Remember when he was at third base for a little while?
And then
volunteered
left field and all that. So it looks like Carlos Santana will be the one. Aaron Judge is getting some votes because he's New York, but he hasn't played much of the year. But speaking of him, Adam from our crack staff came up with a stat that is unbelievable.
It is.
The late Tony Gwynn, one of the greatest hitters ever. There you see Tony Gwynn in 20 seasons.
Take a picture of that graphic. It might be one of the most
20
hilarious
seasons for
graphics you
Gwynn,
ever see.
4 for Judge, and strikeouts, 434 for Tony Gwynn and 434 for Aaron Judge. That is. I don't even know where you begin to find that stat. So, like did Adam say? I think I'll look at how many stats Aaron Judge has, and then I'll go down the list and see how many Tony Gwynn had. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, you're not just talking about different eras because now strikeouts are not, mocked or you don't feel bad when you strike out. But Gwynn, he was an anomaly even in the era when it wasn't fashionable.
You mean about less strikeouts?
Yeah.
All right, here's the other thing. In today's day and age where they have the shift on and everything,
yes.
I mean, Tony Gwynn hit many of his balls to the same place, so they'd have the shift on him. But in about 3 days, he'd have it figured out how to beat the shift.
Yeah, and also, Les, I remember Gwynn as being able to go foul line to foul line, much like Rod Carew. So, yeah, those two guys wouldn't necessarily thrive in the exit velocity categories, as far as I can remember.
No, but they beat the shift.
But they were magicians with the bat, and they could place balls where hitters or fielders weren't. So
you put the third baseman in the shortstop position, and Carew will bunt all day long and get doubles on them.
Yeah, you couldn't. I can't imagine you could shift against Gwynn or Carew in any situation.